lot to take away from that session as to the constantly emerging priorities that GBS leaders are faced with and how they manage it all. Next up, we have a studio spotlight session. Now, last year, Matt Stallard spoke about how the digital core can support shared services. However, this is only one of the many hats Matt wears at Deloitte. The other is neurodiversity lead. As shared services shift towards notions such as experience-based hiring, we're delighted to have him join us in the studio now alongside Chinmay. Hi, welcome Matt.
Hi, thank you for having me back.
Of course. Why don't you start with simply explaining what is neurodiversity?
Yeah, so neurodiversity is a variation in the way that our brains process things, process information, the way it functions. There are common areas that people associate with neurodiversity, things like ADHD, autism, dyslexia, probably the most commonly known, but there are other things such as dysgraphia, dyscalculia and dyspraxia as well. And for me, it's quite important to understand that and understand the connotations that people put around these things. So historically, people talk about conditions or challenges, whereas I prefer to talk about them as features and actually the strengths that they have. And the inspiration for me about neurodiversity comes from my oldest son, who identifies with autism, couldn't speak until he was about 6 years old, and through his love of music, we got him playing the piano, we got him singing, and then we got him speaking, and now at 16 years old, he performs on stage. So it shows you, anyone can achieve anything in the right conditions.
In your opinion, Matt, how is neurodiversity a valuable asset for an enterprise, for an organization?
It's hugely valuable, Chinmay. In the UK, we have 2,000 people in our neurodiversity network now. And what we've learned from that is the variety and diversity of thinking that they bring to, internally to our organisation, but also to our clients' problems, really help solve things in a different way. It certainly, it's aided my development a huge amount. I feel I've become a much more rounded leader. From first of all being a dad, but then working with colleagues in the area. And actually our clients get inspired in two ways, bro. One is they see the huge solutioning and that diversity of thought being brought to the table that maybe allows us to answer things in different ways that we hadn't before. But secondly, helping them ask their questions, what if we did something different in our organisation, and what does that mean for our teams, and how can we inspire other people in our organisation to excel in the same way?
So what are the common misconceptions that you have come across on the topic of neurodiversity?
Probably two, I would say. Two big things. The first one is, and quite a frustrating one for me, is you just need to work harder. So if I give you an example of somebody who identifies with dyslexia and you ask them to read an 80-page document, they are going to miss some grammatical things, they're going to miss some spelling mistakes. Asking them to work harder and look at that document multiple times is not going to change because it's the way their brain processes things. The other one is, I quite often get asked, have you got a crib sheet? One of my team members just come to me and said they identify with ADHD. Have you got a crib sheet of what I should and shouldn't say to them? Everyone's an individual. Everyone's experiences have brought them to where they are today in an individual manner. And therefore, you need to treat everybody as an individual. And you quite often hear me saying, if you've met one person with ADHD, you've met one person with ADHD, you haven't met everyone in the world. And they are two of the biggest misconceptions. I think people feel that with more effort you can overcome it, but unfortunately that's not the way this works. And secondly, that there is no one silver bullet that answers it, and you need to treat everyone as an individual in the way that they are.
Absolutely, Matt. I think what you say is it really resonates. I think as we sort of have very diverse teams with different sort of experiences and backgrounds, what do you think individuals can do to empower their neurodiverse peers and foster that more inclusive and accepting environment?
Listen and engage, first of all. I think you need to listen to people who've had lived experiences for it. And if you think about it, being seen, being heard and being understood, they're pretty basic human needs, right? And so I think there's definitely that. In Deloitte, we created a thing called the Manual of Me that allows us to talk about our individuals, who we are, our traits, not just for our neurodiverse community, but actually for everybody. And understanding that and supporting that is really important. And then the final thing to say is, having everyone be role models and everyone providing a platform, there's a difference between being an advocate and putting a voice out there and being an ally, which is about doing multiple different things to support the network.
Thank you so much. Wow.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Why don't we... it's great that you have been able to join us at the conference once again, but speak on a completely different topic.
Now, whilst we wait for our next set of speakers to join us, let's take a look at some photos that our team were able to capture from day one of this year's conference. Oh, that was a really great plenary yesterday.
It was amazing.
It was just so insightful to kind of hear that pivot of, how do you get from no to a yes organisation. And the Innovation Hub, a new feature for this year's conference. There was lots of things around generative AI. Speakers from ServiceNow as well provide an interesting presentation around automation.
And there were some great opportunities to network.
Absolutely.
We had our clients, our alliance partners, a lot of veterans, people who have been doing it for the first time. It gave a great opportunity for people to really talk about their ideas, their solutions, their problems, whatnot. Now, I would like to welcome Andy Carfax from Blackline, one of our silver sponsors, and Zosia Lieto from Deloitte Alliance to share how their partnership has allowed them to achieve greater success. Welcome. Hi.
Thank you. Hi. So I'm going to kick off. Blackline have sponsored this conversation. You bring the magical barista with the coffee.
It's good, isn't he?
He is fantastic. I spoke to someone who said they had 7 coffees yesterday.
Like this.
Yeah. Why don't you talk to us a little bit more about Blackline and how you work with Deloitte?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're here because effectively our customers are your customers. And also historically our customers have sat in the shared service centre. So this is the perfect conference for us. So yeah, for sure we'll be here next year as well. Blackline, effectively we work with the finance teams and shared service centres, and we provide end-to-end automation across the whole of the close process. So historically, customers would have come through to us through a need for controls, so doing accounting reconciliations. But more nowadays, our customers are interested in automation and process efficiencies. And whilst we are market-leading software in our field, we can't do that on our own. So by combining the market-leading software with people like Zosia, who are Blackline experts in market-leading Deloitte, we're powerful and we can, change the world.
Great. Zosia, as part of the Alliance team, you would have seen a lot of work that we do with Blackline.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how does Deloitte work with Blackline on a client project?
Yeah, so we've had a partnership with them for over 10 years. I've worked with them for 8 years, and I've really seen the growth in kind of how we collaborate together. We look at, Blackline's got many solutions that you can choose from, and we always are looking at what's the right solution, what's the right problem that we're trying to solve, and working together to kind of identify that and bring their expertise in the kind of technology with our expertise around finance, controls and accounting. We're able to kind of come to the client and just have a really powerful solution that just drives great success, I think, and has done over the years, and we just keep evolving together. And it's the commitment that they have, not only to investing in their own solution. I've seen it evolve so much over the last 8 years, and also their commitment from the CEO, who actually spends time with the big customers and the small customers. I've never seen a vendor this big spending that one-on-one time with them. So it really is inspirational.
That's a lovely point. I mean, just to echo, when we work together, it's not Blackline and Deloitte, it's one team. It works really well.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time. I do also want to add, for every coffee that you did give away, there was a tree that's going to be planted. So I love that sustainability element.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you.
So now let's go back to the plenary.